This is it. This is the last year of the V8 RS6 Avant. I'll include a link to the Audi and Salt Lake's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this RS6. If you have any questions and you need help, just ask for Landon. Let's get right into it. This week's giveaway highlight is a 57 Chevy Resto model with over 600 horsepower. If you happen to be interested, use code BHC or click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. Any donation, $25 or more, will give you 4x bonus entries into this giveaway. Under the hood is a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 14 around town, 21 on the highway, with power outputs being 621 horsepower and then 627 pound-feet of torque. And I don't care how much horsepower the new RS6 has, if it's not a V8, it's lame. If you want to keep these reviews going, make sure you subscribe. Now this gray I think is a classic color on Audis at this point. It's really good looking, and especially with the headlight design, I mean, it just perfectly matches. You can see the rest of the blacked elements contrast the gray quite nicely. And yeah, the RS6, the RS7, both of them have a very similar looking front end, and both of them incredibly aggressive. 285 by 30 by 22 for the tire and wheel setup, and look at the wheels. I mean, that is so cool looking. And then the brakes, I mean, absolutely enormous. I mean, I actually have to kind of zoom out a little bit. Here's a look at that. You gotta remember, 22-inch wheel, and the rotor and caliper fill up like the whole thing. And then look at the side profile, just the wagon design. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful, and those wheels and calipers, they really do pop out on this. And look at this key fob. You got your lock unlock, got the Audi logo there on the bottom. You also have the unlock for the trunk, or opening for the trunk, RS. It's such a nice key fob. The new key fobs that I've seen on the Audis, not as nice as this. Cargo cover built in from the factory. It actually goes up with the hatch, which is very useful. You can throw it on the seats. They do fold down flat. You got those tabs for it. But I mean, this is why you get a wagon. This thing is so spacious. I mean, this is the definition of practicality. And yeah, it'll close for you too. And look at those taillights. Again, iconic design. You got the RS6 badge there. Giant exhaust tip covers. And just take a second to appreciate this car because it is beautiful. Let's now take a look at the interior. So double pane windows front and rear. We also have sunshades for the rear passengers. This is really nice for the trim. I like the carbon fiber too. And then you got more red stitching down below. The seats are perforated down the center. You've got a bunch of stitching with that kind of hexagon pattern. Plenty of legroom back here. We also have a little storage net. And look at that, vents. We also have our own climate zone on either side. Heated seats too. USB ports on the bottom. And then we also get our own sunroof for the back passengers. Let's now take a look at the front. Blind spot mounting with the mirrors. Again, double pane windows. It's really nice with the soft touch. And that trim too is really cool. Memory seats with this. All the rest of the window controls there as well. RS there on the seat. Again, perforated all down the center. You've got to have your adjustments on the side with lumbar support too. Being an RS car, the whole steering wheel has the nice perforated leather. Got the red stitching in the center. RS there at the bottom. Paddles on the back, which actually have a nice finish to them. Practical controls on the front face, including the volume voice command controls. Controls there for the center digital gauge cluster as well. And yeah, it's Audi's virtual cockpit they've had for years. It's like the cool one is the navigation screen. You can make it go big or just small. So yeah, it's very customizable. And if you like digital, this also has a heads-up display. Really nice trim all across the dash. There's more down below as well. 360 camera system. You got a 3D view if you want. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different angles that you can see out of with this. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, man, that took a second. You really have to be like, I'm pressing something with it. But yeah, it responds well as long as you don't just lightly tap it. You got to kind of give it a little bit of effort. Just below that, we've got our dual zone climate controls, heated ventilated seat controls as well. Stuff like the auto stop start parking sensors are built into here, parking assist rather. Heated steering wheel functions also built in there. Some physical buttons below, physical-ish for like the drive mode, and then like your parking assist and then volume control. This is all really nice with like the cup holders, got the shifter, and I like how the depictions behind it. Anyways, parking brake, center console with the phone charging pad, got some USB ports. Nice trim on the top there. And then like I said earlier, sunroofs, got another one up front. 2026 Avant Performance. Base MSRP $130,700. This has a few options added to it. $143,395. Also, this already has a gas guzzler tax, so I don't know why they gave it auto stop start. Like, just go all out with the fact this is not going to be efficient. Let's see how this RS6 performs. So, RS6 Avant Performance a V8 twin turbo car with auto stop start. I think that's so silly that has auto stop start. I mean, like, it's got the gas guzzler tax. Why give it auto stop start? It makes 0 sense. Except probably it's some stupid European regulation because you know what? I love you guys, but I'm gonna just say it. We have stupid regulations. You guys have stupid regulations. We all have stupid regulations. But yeah, Europe has some stupid regulations for emissions and everything. And I know a lot of people are gonna attack me and be like, it's for the environment. And, I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell, like I'm kind of a little bit of a tree hugger. It might not seem that way sometimes, but I am kind of a bit of a tree hugger. And so, like, I care about the environment. I really do. But at the same time, I'm a car enthusiast. And it's like, okay, they're gonna sell like how many of these? I think they only sell like 300, maybe 400 of these in the US market per year. It's a very low production car. That's not gonna do that much. You know what I mean? Like that's so few. Like there's like 15, 16 million new cars sold per year. So if 300 of them don't have auto stop start and they got a gas guzzling V8, who cares? Let some people have some fun. Let them live their lives. I don't know, that's my take on it. Man, I don't know if we're gonna be able to, oh, we should be able to get out here now. So, seats are comfortable. It's very insulated. Again, double pane windows all throughout. Very cool setup. You're supposed to stop before you go through. You too, Subaru. I might be stupid, but at least I know how to somewhat drive. We're like 50% of the way there. Man, this car's comfortable. And actually, I'm in the dynamic. Let's take it into the auto mode here. It does have that height adjustable suspension, so depending on the drive mode will determine the height. And you can also manually adjust the height. And speaking of height adjustable suspension, I know Audi's never going to listen to me. Nobody ever listens to me. RS6, keep the V8, of course. But also, RS6 all-road with all-terrain tires. What is this? There's a no parking sign right there. Now, I get that the person's is in the car, but still. Come on. Come on. This is why I don't like cities. Pardon my language, but I gotta say for the review, I call them shitties. Because that's what they are. Not worth living in. Anyway, yeah, this is comfortable. It's quiet. I mean, it's a daily drivable super wagon. I mean, it's crazy. It's like you can just sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. And then you also have over 600 horsepower, so you can smack sports car owners across the face when you gap them. And these things are tunable, so you can get like a bajillion horsepower out of them. I mean, there's a lot that's really cool about these. And that's why Audi should keep the V8 and not do a stupid, I don't care what it, like whether it's a turbo V6 hybrid or like electric or any, I don't care. I don't care what it is. If it's not a good old fashioned V8, and you know, I feel like as car enthusiasts, we already conceded a lot because we already gave up naturally aspirated engines. We're like, okay, you know what? We'll concede, we'll do these smaller displacement turbo engines. They're not as reliable. They don't sound as good, but you know, they put out fewer emissions. We'll do it. And it's like, nope, that's not enough. Now we gotta go to even smaller engines and hybrids and electric and this and that. It's like, oh man, I'm getting sick of it. Again, something like a Q5 size vehicle, right? RAV4. If that's a hybrid, yeah, the person, but like this kind of stuff, it doesn't make sense to make this. Why are you trying to make a super wagon economical? Those two don't really go together. So this is my way of saying I'm going to miss the RS6 quite a bit. It's still going to be around, but it's kind of like when your favorite athlete retires and then comes back out of retirement and they're old now, and so like you have this thing in your mind of like the glory days for that athlete, and then they come back out of retirement and they just get their butt whooped because they're old and they're slow and all this now, and it's like, man. And that's kind of what it's like with these cars when they, you know, even if like there's an RS6 right away for the 27 model year, when they kind of get rid of the essence of the car and do something new, like what Mercedes is doing with the E-Class, where it's like, I just reviewed an E53 wagon, and that thing had a hybrid inline 6 garbage. It was fast, but man, it didn't sound good like this, and it just didn't have the same feeling, and it just felt neutered, massively neutered. So that's kind of what it's like. It's like, man, I used to, I don't know, I'm not like super into sports, but like you kind of see it when like Muhammad Ali. That's one that I feel like a lot of people will probably be familiar with, right? He had those few years off, and then he comes back and he just gets his butt whooped for a while, and then he kind of figured things out after a while. But that's just how it goes. So that's what will happen, Audi. You do a V6 RS6 with crazy hybrid power. You can say that it has 0 to 60 in -5 seconds. You can say all this stuff, just as fast as the old one, faster than the old one, yada 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 yada. Just won't do it. Won't do it for the enthusiasts. You will objectively, I think, sell fewer cars. I think people won't be as interested. It'll be like what's happened with Mercedes, where they just have those, they sit in the lot and then they have to discount them. Like this stuff, the dealers don't have to discount it really. But like those Mercedes hybrid, you know, AMGs, they got to discount them heavily to convince people to buy them.